Right, lads, it's a big cup final today. I just want to keep nerves at a low, so let's just go out there and keep things simple. No messing about. If you... bro, so I was watching a YouTube channel the other day. Was it that dead trim guy? No, brother. Who do you think I am? Sorry, I didn't mean to. It was F2, yeah, and they said if I used enough swaz, I'd finally lose my virginity. Are you listening back there, Steve? Yeah, don't worry, boss. Flipping swazanda.
محمد عيسى شوفوا بأي طريقة استعراضية عم برد الكرة ناسية.
Alright, guys, calm down. Let's keep things unstressful. Calm down. You are the one doing stupid stuff, brother. Yo guys, it is your boy Earnin here, and you are watching FTW. This is of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. What's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, there's beef in the US rap scene as Kendrick Lamar provided his long-awaited return diss track on Drake. I don't even mind Drake, to be honest with you, but him using his betting curse to put 350k on Kendrick is the only way he's winning this one. He's gonna have to turn it up to 11 with his return, and Millie Bobby Brown isn't involved this time. J. Cole is relieved watching on knowing that he's not a part of this beef whatsoever anymore. And this beef really does involve all of the hard hitters of American rap. There's only one man really yet to get involved.
This shit is wicked on these mean streets. None of my friends speak. We all trying to win.
Now though, onto the football. Unlike Drake, we ain't made it to a semi. There is no English or Premier League representation, but honestly it doesn't matter because the 4 teams left provided classics. We start with Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich, where the European Giants played out a 2-2 draw at the Allianz. But honestly, the final result here, a loss for Barcelona. This might as well have been a WWE custody battle, though in reality, neither of them will want to take Barcelona home with all the debt that they've got. If I'm Xavi, I'm devastated realizing that both teams can't actually lose this semi-final. One thing that could come true and did was Daniel Sturridge's prediction, saying he thought it'd be a 2-2 with Leroy Sané getting on the score sheet. How the fuck has he done that then, mate? He'll be gassed after predicting himself to grab a UK #1.
It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top.
Vinicius Jr. got himself in a spot of bother before kickoff, hitting a ball boy in the warm-up, but he hit a different target for Real's opener. He is now the Brazilian record holder for goals in the Champions League, already at the age of 23. But the assist here was delightful from Toni Kroos, and Vinny was the first to applaud the German. Kroos' fellow compatriot Jamal Musiala is genuinely sensational. He was key in Bayern getting back in this one, as was Leroy Sané's insane equaliser. Then with Harold Kane getting himself a penalty, Jude Bellingham was unable to distract his English teammate.
Match fixed.
There was a lot of talk about this on social media. Harry Kane said that he just heard some mumbling. If Harry Kane says that you're mumbling, brother, he can't even have been speaking English. Harold needs subtitles in real life. Yeah, I can't lie to you. You're gonna fucking sky it again. No, I know I can't speak properly, but why do I need subtitles in real... Yo, what in the world? Speaking of Jude Bellingham, he was dragged here at about the hour mark. This is the Jude Bellingham that we actually got for the match. But it can't have been as bad as Bayern centre-back Kim Min jaded, bruv. The poor guy produced an absolute disaster class when it mattered, giving away a late penalty as well. And who would have thought that the Korean would have been the one that was dire here? Poor Kim was left emotional when he saw Rodrigo and Vinny running in behind for Real Madrid.
What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to chase after them? I've got no legs.
And was left with absolutely no composure when he saw either of the Brazilians flying towards him.
The game's over, wallahi, the game was over, man, let's be real. I see, wallahi, black 4 niggas entered that door, 4.
Truly, it's not the first time that Kim has been exposed at the back, really. Speaking of shock blowjobs live on a screen, though, now...
He sucked him in perfectly, because it's all about timing as well for the centre forward. It's suck him in. As soon as you see him getting close, now I'm going to explode.
What the fucking hell's happening?
The bravery, honestly, to suck him off. Whilst Michael Owen was being extremely suspect, Alphonso Davies was putting on the wrong shirt to come on as a substitute, but that still wasn't as confusing as this Real Madrid mystery player who was seen in action and training despite not actually being on the team sheet. I reckon they used him to test Mancunian food back in the quarterfinals. The poor youngster will not have been pleased upon finding his role here.
Kids just have souls. I go to church. I'm a Christian.
But honestly, what a tie. What a first game. Looking forward to the second leg next week. The other semi-final is set up just as nicely between Borussia Dortmund and PSG, as Dortmund were victorious here with a slim 1-0 win in front of the yellow wall. Now, Dortmund are known for their sensational support. They were absolutely great. The atmosphere was incredible. But shout out to the PSG ultras here as well. One Dortmund fan was outside the ground, camping overnight, taking a home end to a new level there, really. Honestly, Marco Reus would still get injured on his way to the stadium. Oh, fuck the tent pole. How this game ended 1-0, I will never know. Fulkrug got himself the opener thanks to a lovely touch, but there were so many chances and woodwork strikes after this. Ousmane Dembele wasn't quite the same man that he was against Barca. Meanwhile, Kylian Mbappe's performance left a bit to be desired as well. But on the other side, and Jadon Sancho was tearing things up. He had poor Nuno Mendes on toast. Now, Dortmund tweeted that they'd been familiar with Sancho's game from the jump, despite his poor run at Manchester United. And the winger will be getting his own back walking into Carrington with a Champions League medal round his neck. Ten Hag will have been watching on a TV, astounded. This is Jadon Sancho on a Wednesday versus Marcus Rashford on a Wednesday. Probably Rashford on most days, really, with his work rate at the moment. Jamie Carragher took up the role of just getting absolutely steaming with Dortmund fans all night, and his interview with Sancho at the end was golden.
Jadon Sancho. Jadon, do you want to join us? Jadon, come on. What a performance. Can you promise the future Dortmund fans that you'll go on the... Because I've found a new family. I've got new friends. I mean, they bought me pints of lager all night. It was amazing. You'd love it. Honest, Jadon, you would love it.
It's not for you. You're still an active sportsman.
He walked into the CBS studio with 8 Jaeger bombs and spit for anyone that could get it. Meanwhile, Kylian Mbappe at full time was left behind by the team bus, and after not scoring a goal, Luis Enrique explained why he chose to leave him in Dortmund.
I wouldn't even let him on the bus after the match. I get a taxi back to Manchester. These are established international players.
And with this win, the Bundesliga now get a extra spot for next season's Champions League campaign, 5th place, which is of course exactly where Dortmund happened to be. Onto the Premier League, and the North London derby saw Arsenal come out on top, though with a stressful finish, grabbing a 3-2 win here versus Tottenham. Kai Havertz was absolutely loving life at full time after scoring again here, and I'm sure Bukayo Saka will have enjoyed the result as well, after Tottenham fans were giving him grief chanting "You let your country down" after his Euro 2020 penalty miss, only for him to grab an assist straight away and cup his ears as the celebration. Bukayo has firmly limped onto the score sheet here. I don't understand Tottenham fans chanting this, you know, when Harry Kane exists. This Spurs fan was giving it even more large to Declan Rice upon the next corner kick, only to be sent back up the stairs when Arsenal scored from a set piece again. Honestly, Tottenham fans were relentless here. Imagine a poor 5-year-old Arsenal fan walking past, getting heckled from the sidelines. Ben White was causing chaos in the penalty area, trying to adjust Vicario's gloves to put him off. Honestly, Ben Mixed at this point is probably more appropriate. One Arsenal fan was getting married over the weekend and received a score update from his photographer. Fair to say he was pretty happy with the development at half-time. As for Tottenham supporters, and they could barely take the defeat. One was even prepared with a Martin Odegaard shirt underneath. And with Martin Odegaard at full-time, hey, yo, I recognise that guy in the background. Lads, the Arsenal flat cap NPC managed to make it onto the Arsenal Twitter page. This is truly a sensational development. If they win the league, he's getting a medal too at this rate. He's got more appearances than Emile Smith-Rowe. Arsenal are keeping the pressure on in the title race. Liverpool are not.
Fuck off!
I think really it's time to wrap things up at this point, ladies and gents. Yeah, what fabulous floorboarding. Liverpool drop yet more points to all but bow out of the title race with a 2-2 draw at West Ham. But look on the bright side, guys. The City-Pool combination could well be doing it again. A truly 50-50 relationship between both of the teams in the last 8 years. Guys, don't worry. We've finally secured top 4 football. That is season accomplished. Genuinely, I've had enough. We actually stink. I don't know what's happened to us in April. And you know what? Things really did start on brand for us.
It's great that we haven't conceded first, though. Fuck off, it's 1-0.
We were 1-0 down, Luis Diaz was trying Jogo Benito, and all at the same time we were wasting yet more opportunities. The story of our entire month. Our XG in our final 5 games compared to our opponents is an absolute disgrace, and we're really missing the clinicality of Diogo Jota, who simply seems to get injured even getting out of bed at this point. The Mo Salah started on the bench here after a disappointing performance in the Merseyside derby. That was his punishment. He was only introduced with 10 minutes to go, and clearly wasn't too happy with his boss about the fact that he didn't get on earlier. At full time, he refused to speak to the media, saying that if he spoke, there would be fire.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
And at this point, I really can't wait for his Piers Morgan interview next season.
That I felt betrayed.
The Egyptian king was taking matters into his own hands, escaping the dressing room, trying to look for a new team to sign for next year. And I can't help but feel new Reds manager Arne Slot will be caught in a crossfire when he tries to speak to Salah for the first time.
You can call me Baldy or like, don't bother me.
I didn't call you Baldy.
Yeah, speaking of Arnie, and he is now confirmed as our manager for next season, the former Feyenoord man, Ivan Toney will be gassed arriving at Anfield next season, thinking that we've created a slot machine. And it was a strange situation during this game. Anthony Taylor was the referee here. And Alfonso Areola, seemed to take a free kick. Cody Gakpo was alive for it and went to slot the ball into the back of the net without Areola realising, only for Anthony Taylor to blow the whistle and stop the play, even though Gakpo was firmly, within his rights to put the ball in the back of the net. He then told Areola to go down injured. Yeah, we're never getting the PGMOL audio for that one. To be honest, we're shit anyway. The only bright light from this one, David Moyes' quote on Jurgen Klopp.
I'll be glad he's gone. Fucking too big. Teeth are too bright. But I think he's been immense for Liverpool. I think he's the daddy there.
At Man City versus Forest, and City did what they needed to do with a victory over Nuno's men. Could have been different though if Chris Wood knew how to finish. Honestly, speaking of Wood, if you plonked a tree in the centre of the penalty area and asked it to deflect the ball in the back of the net, it would do better. He's been good as well recently, which is why I'm a little bit suspicious personally. His old tweets really starting to make some sort of sense at this point. He could be seen out full time going through his new Etihad bank transfer. This one, El Chargico. And Forest are absolute amateurs, getting a points deduction off of one financial sustainability charge. Man City have done 115, they've not got anything yet. Kyle Walker celebrated with Joshko Gvardiol by stealing his nose. Like, give it back, man, what the heck, bro? He's clearly preparing for his latest child with his third family. Meanwhile, Erling Haaland was gassed after scoring in this one, turning into Homer Simpson down the microphone for his celebration.
Instant impact!
Speaking of Erling, he announced his new partnership with the game Clash of Clans. Honestly, I love it. The guy's just a full-on nerd. None of this cool people game aura shit. Though he will be left frustrated when he logs in for the first time and it asks if he's a robot. The sponsorships are raining down on Man City. Clash of Fams is Kyle Walker's next brand deal. Meanwhile, Manchester City announced a partnership with Lego, a plastic product. Absolutely perfect for them. Chelsea had a positive week with a draw against Aston Villa, then a win versus Tottenham in a London derby. Their fans on Twitter claiming their season started today. Yeah, and it ends for everyone else, bruv. It's May. What are you talking about? Nicholas Jackson's shaved head was interesting enough. It looks like his shavers managed to miss the target as well. But despite his poor goal-scoring form last week, he did actually score against Tottenham here against all the odds. Meanwhile, off the pitch, Noni Madueke was showing off calling OnlyFans model Ruby Rose. There's, honestly, the penalty situation? He just wanted to impress her in the crowd, bruv. Though Drewski will be leaving Stamford Bridge utterly depressed, realising that his girl is for the streets.
Sit down! Get in the back seat! Get back there!
Not such positivity for United, who drew against relegation candidates Burnley.
When people now ask me if I like football, I say yes, but not Burnley. Burnley can fuck off.
It just doesn't really feel like Manchester United's players really have their hearts in it anymore. Marcus Rashford's distracted for fuck's sake. New tune coming soon. 5 AM in Belfast featuring Jadon Sancho doing balloons in the background. Man, I step into the club, it's 5 AM when I go there. Boss's head's got no hair, the roads scare me. Cause I crashed my car into an old lady. Malassi is missing, yeah, is he okay, G? Now, is he actually okay, though? As far as the rest of the wingers are concerned, and in fairness, Anthony did actually score here. Wait, hang on. Anthony scored here.
Beg your pardon?
This is absolutely incredible. He celebrated by doing, the sort of partner's pregnant celebration with Sonic the Hedgehog. The kid was born 11 months ago, bruv. He's only just got a chance to do the celebration now. Holding Sonic here. Ironically, he's not that fast with his goal scoring. But Eric Ten Hag, though, and these results just keep getting worse. He wasn't paying attention down on the touchline when instructions were needed to hold on to the victory. Apparently, a selection of Manchester United fans have been pretending to be disabled so that they can get good seats for games. Questions will seriously need to be raised when one of these frauds ends up in the top tiers.
How did you get up there?
I fell.
Liverpool have given up on any sort of end-of-season campaign or open-top bus tour for Jurgen Klopp. Given our only silverware for the year, looks like it'll be a Carabao Cup. Obviously, it was probably planned that wasn't going to be the only trophy that we won, but we've since bottled all of them. I mean, let's be real, it probably would have been pretty low budget if it was still going ahead. If you're Jurgen Klopp, you're depressed holding a League Cup after all of this. It's not, you don't even get a can of Red Bull for fuck's sake. We don't even need a double-decker bus, realistically, do we? If we're doing a tour with a Carabao Cup. You could rent a small hatchback and just lean out of the windows. On the Liverpool vibe, and our home kit for the 24-25 campaign has been released by Nike. It looks pretty nice. I'll be talking about it in a leaked kits video that I filmed before it was actually official. But Dominic Szoboszlai in the photo shoot, no surprises there. He didn't want to even go back to training. He wanted to do a double photo photo shoot shift. Meanwhile, Mo Salah was getting pretty aggressive when he saw Jurgen Klopp walk in the room. On the other side of Merseyside, and Everton are facing insolvency orders due to their ownership by the 777 group. They've genuinely won the last Merseyside derby, lads. We're never going to come back from this. At least Toffees fans will be delighted knowing they don't actually have to watch their club anymore. At Chelsea, and Thiago Silva has announced he'll be leaving Chelsea at the end of the season. The 40-year-old was absolutely under pressure from his wife, 1000%. She did not want to be there anymore. She's unsubscribed from the Sky Sports account. She's moved his bank account back to Brazil. It's game over. One man that will be in the Premier League next season is Jamie Vardy, after he helped Leicester City win promotion back to the top flight. They secured the promotion off the pitch, but then went and beat Preston in the game afterwards. Jamie Vardy with the most unnecessary finish of all time. Winger Steffi Mavididi was reacting to Leeds players saying they're the best team in the league over on TikTok. Meanwhile, the scenes in the dressing room were absolutely fantastic. Jamie Vardy not quite passing up an opportunity to take a dig at one of his teammates.
When you're fun, give us a dance, bro. You've given us fuck all season. Get on there, Dan.
And he has literally got promotion with Leicester to the Premier League, survived the Great Escape, then won the league against all the odds, won the FA Cup, Community Shield, gone on a European tour, been relegated, and been promoted again, all before Harry Kane's actually won anything. And speaking of Tottenham players winning nothing, Harry Winks left and immediately won something. Meanwhile, the Premier League are waiting for them to arrive so they can deal them a 47-point deduction. Over in Germany, and Bayer Leverkusen were 2-1 down to Stuttgart going into the final minute, and then they received a free kick, and we all know what goes on from there.
Well, you just knew that was going to happen. That's disgusting.
What is even... How did these not do it? Every single game week, this is getting ridiculous. Stuttgart are a good team, you know. I think they're level with Bayern Munich in the table still. Imagine being a Leverkusen fan, realising you've won a corner in the 108th minute at 2-1 down. You know you're saving yourselves. Get emotional. The players turn into different human beings when the fourth official stretches his hamstrings before dealing additional time. You might as well sim to the end of a match. Xabi Alonso arrives for the game in the 95th minute. Oh, yeah, what? 4:55? Yeah, that'll do, mate. Over at Bayern Munich, and they've been rejected by Ralf Rangnick after putting him on a shortlist to become their new manager for next season.
This guy is not even a coach.
Thomas Tuchel's gonna get the same job he just got sacked from, isn't he? Because Bayern have absolutely no pulling power whatsoever.
Hello, ladies. My name is White, and I'm from Brighton by the Sea.
It was a weirder story though at Mainz 05, as there was a sort of like underlying bomb found under their stadium from the war. Well, thankfully, obviously, it never gone off and everybody was fine. But genuinely, imagine this happening during a game. Honestly, bro, he is such a baller. I cannot wait for him to finally blow. Well, over in Italy, and Inter celebrated their Serie A Scudetto title. It's obviously their 20th, and it saw them gain their second star. The scenes in the city were absolutely ridiculous, and the open-top bus tour for the club was sensational. Denzel Dumfries celebrated with a banner that saw him walking Lucas Hernandez on a leash. This is a genuine rivalry between these two, only for the leader of Curvin Order, which is AC Milan's sort of ultra group, to turn it into racism. Oh, man, for fuck's sake. At least be original, for fuck's sake. One thing goes wrong in that country, and Italy are just like, blam, banana monkey. Rafael Leao's literally in your team, lads. What are you even doing? If I'm them, like Leao, Tomori, etc., just leave. They're fucked anyway. They're doubly fucked without you. To be honest, I'm proud of Denzel Dumfries for rattling these lot. And Curvin Order will be even more depressed seeing that AC Milan's home shirt has black on it.
Why is everyone black?
Anyway. Speaking of Inter, and Marcus Thuram celebrated their 2-0 win this week by jumping into a sleeping bag. Yeah, he turned an advertisement hoarding whatever by the side of the pitch into a sleeping bag. I don't really know why. Maybe he fancied a journey to Dortmund. But he was also celebrating Hakan Çalhanoğlu scoring a penalty before it had even been taken. Now that is confidence. Milan centre-back Simon Kjaer has announced that he will be leaving the club when his contract expires. I imagine to run the entire length of Zimbabwe or something. Meanwhile, Bologna's sensational campaign is reaching its climax, and they have confirmed European football for next season, which led to this extremely wholesome moment from Riccardo Orsolini celebrating with his grandma. And joining them in Serie A next season will be legendary Outfit Parma, who have seen some of the best Italian footballers in the history of the sport play for them over their years. I can't wait for them to go out of business for an 8th time upon reaching the promised land. In Spain, and Xavi has conducted a surprise U-turn. He's announced that he's going to be staying at Barcelona for next season. He was trying to leave the club, and the Barca board, yeah, they locked him in, mate. You won't ever get to leave here, Xavi. Sent from iPhone. This is a real statement from Barca. A bank statement. They ain't got the funds to hire anybody else, let's be real. They did, though, do the talking out on the pitch with a 4-2 win over Valencia. Robert Lewandowski scored himself a hat-trick in this one.
I seen it on the clips, that shit was dark as fuck.
There was some very interesting scenes during the course of the match, though, like Valencia's goalkeeper forgetting that he had 2 arms. Maybe that decision was affected by Valencia's original goalkeeper using his hand outside of the area, getting himself sent off, stopping Lamine Yamal running through on goal. A serious topic, though, from Athletic Club, where Nico Williams was the subject of racism at the Wanda Metropolitano. Obviously, he was pretty devastated by this. There was a stoppage in the game whilst he was consoled by his teammates. He responded in the best way possible by scoring literally 2 minutes later and pointing to his skin. The best way to deal with this sort of thing, honestly. But once again, La Liga needs to do better. Over at Real Madrid, and Jude Bellingham is teasing Los Blancos fans on the arrival of Kylian Mbappe.
I like this card. Good player as well. Nothing more needs to be said about that. And then 2 teammates, so it's a nice pack. Danny and Ada, brilliant. Keep these 2 for my collection and add another one.
Meanwhile, at Villarreal, they've been in the action too. A double nutmeg here is absolutely disgraceful. That is illegal in most countries. And clearly I had their admin feeling pretty sensual with this post over on Twitter. Yeah, look, the nudes in profile trend has gone too far. Their striker Alexander Sorloth scored this week. He had the opportunity to go and be with his missus for the birth of his child, but turned that opportunity down to go to this game and score. For a game that doesn't even matter. Like where Villarreal are in the league. This is crazy. That's like your wife is giving birth and you going to work as a fitness coach at a retirement home. It's not making any sense. One thing that is making sense though over in France is PSG being crowned Liga Champions in the least surprising news of the season. Might as well be just local league tax, man. It just doesn't even mean anything anymore. Well done, you spent 4.7 trillion. If I'm Kylian Mbappe, mate, this Liga medal has absolutely no value to me at all. There's devastating news though at Rhyme, where will not still be the manager of them next season. He's leaving his post as boss. I mean, look, at least Rhyme don't have to pay 25 grand per game anymore. Their accountant is practically jumping for joy at this news, but that unbeaten run will be remembered forever. Meanwhile, at Le Mans, and only one of their fans travelled to go and witness their game against Nancy, and he was rewarded with a 6-3 absolute classic of a victory. Yeah, Le Mans, yeah, he was in fact Le Mans. Now there is time for your goals of the week, and there's bangers again. We start off in England though. There's not many goals of the week really from the Premier League, to be honest. Usually they're from far and wide across the globe. Well, Jeffrey Schlupp didn't give me too much of an option really. The long-range bangers keep coming though as we head over to China and Shanghai Shenhua, where Zhu Chenji has let one rip from distance. But a slightly different goal though now, coming from Cabral over in Chile. There has to be an acrobatic goal every week really, and this one is no exception. This might be one of the best we've seen.
Cabral, golazo!
Hello all and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
Väga palju neid ei olnud siiski, Vendelin palli kätte sai, aga sööt ettepoole. Oi, kuidas nüüd niimoodi? No kuidas niimoodi?
And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Now over in Saudi Arabia, and Cristiano Ronaldo was having an emotional roller coaster of a week. He's been getting very angry recently. He got himself sent off a couple of weeks ago. When having a cross blocked, he decided to punch the ball. Brother, you know you can't do that in football unless you do. But he was feeling generous at other points during the week, gifting a penalty to Sadio Mane, and then giving the Senegalese captain some motivation to put it in the back of the net, which he duly did. And Ronaldo clearly doesn't need goals from the spot because he pulled off this actually brilliant finish, to be fair. Even though the goalkeeper had gone walkabouts, this left-footed volley, very nicely done indeed. Now there's the news that Sweden have rejected the introduction of VAR. They do not want it, clearly, in their division. They've seen the absolute carnage that it's created elsewhere in Europe, and they are not buying into it. Tottenham manager Ange Postecoglou was quoted as saying that he has to go over to Sweden immediately in that case. Mario Balotelli was pulling off the tricks and flicks over in training in Turkey. Honestly, this clip sums up his entire career. Nonchalant, skillful, and just does not give a shit. In Norway, and KFUM Oslo Oslo are newly promoted to the Norwegian top flight. I don't actually know if this is a league game, but they played against Brann, okay? The weird thing about their stadium is their changing rooms aren't actually connected to the ground. They actually have to cross a road and walk to their own match. Fucking hell. They're not even the home team. There were wild scenes in Portugal as a ridiculous late comeback from Sporting saw them score 2 goals in a minute to grab a draw in an all-important title race decider. Yannick Balassi has made the surprise move to Brazil, but when you think about it, it's not really that surprising. I mean, the guy is a Brazilian skillster in a Congolese footballer's body. Yeah, it's a perfect fit. He went over there and produced extremely useful skill and even grabbed his first goal for the club as well. So shout out Yannick, man. Shout out Damien Duff over in Ireland. The Shelbourne manager guided his side to a Dublin derby victory and picked out a random fan from the crowd to talk to the team and give a motivational speech after the victory. Thinking outside of the box. I love it when managers do that. Keep it up, Damien. If someone can explain what this mascot is in Japan, that would be very much appreciated. What is going on? Mental scenes as well in Poland, where Wisla Krakow of the 2nd division won the Polish Cup against first-tier opposition. They're not even top of the 2nd division, by the way, which is absolutely incredible and genuinely impressive. A side that I did a Football Manager save over on my Twitch with last year. So obviously, if you want to go give that a follow, that'd be massively appreciated. Man's still doing streaming over there now. Now, in Scotland, and shout out this St Mirren ball boy who was griefing the opponents by just chucking the ball away. And he got so bad that the referee had to send him off. Get him off the field! It's a Shithousery Award for the young lad. Over in Rwanda, and take a bow this goalkeeper, going up late for a corner and smashing the ball into the back of the net. I fear not the only thing that's going to be flying high over the turf of Rwanda soon. In Argentina and at Estudiantes, they've labelled one of their players Kevin De Brownie. Honestly, you know what? Fuck it. I don't even care. Hideously unthought through, but whatever. And in Brazil, Grêmio's boss was sent off as they were 1-0 down, and he was not pleased at all with the refereeing decision. So badly that when he was given his marching orders, he requested that the rest of the bench and substitutes went along with him down the tunnel. Now closer to home, and Kieran Gibbs is practicing in his front room and dinking the ball onto his own child's head. Actually, I think you'll find it's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Brighton have not been in good form under Roberto De Zerbi. They barely scored in April. In fact, the only goal they did score was this absolute howler from Burnley goalkeeper Muric, allowing the ball under his foot. And because it was the only goal scored by Brighton in April, it means it won Brighton's goal of the month. There's not a crazy amount of finishing going on in the crowd either, as this Seagulls fan is attempting to load strip chat whilst watching the game. Fed up of watching his own club get shagged, he decided to turn to the internet as an alternative. It's not loading, so either way, he's done dirty. Abdoulaye Doucouré shared on Instagram a inspirational quote saying talent 10%, mental 90%. So basically what you're saying, Abdoulaye, is that you're shit. So I appreciate that, boss. Down at the bottom of the table, and speaking of which, Sheffield United have been relegated. That's pretty much it. I mean, we knew that from about November. In the Championship, and Luke O'Neill of Sunderland fancied just playing some volleyball instead of football. Meanwhile, there is a ridiculous story coming out of Port Vale, who have been relegated to League 2 this weekend. And one of their former players, Ryan Burge, was so happy at this development that he flew a plane with a banner mocking their relegation over the stadium. Now, the backstory is here that he used to play for Port Vale, but was released by the club after a disciplinary issue, which saw him arrive to training, I think, late. He stated that he was supposed to be getting picked up and he'd been left behind by like someone that was meant to transfer him to the actual squad. Either way, he feels like he was done dirty about it, and then apparently they put in bad references to stop him from finding a club after he left. So because of that, he's got a pretty pure hatred for everything Port Vale, and seeing them get relegated was something that he couldn't pass up. So he trained, he learned how to fly a plane purely so he could fly this banner over the stadium. That is a platinum level Shithousery Award. Do you understand how petty you have to be to get qualifications for this? Now, up in Scotland, and the Twitter account for Hibs Women was firmly impressed by a dog that ran onto the pitch wearing a Hibs scarf, saying that it's not going to get any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. In Georgia, and stadium planning is somewhat unconventional, they decided to take one of their stadiums and put like about 25 seats down in the shape of a triangle before promptly giving up on the rest of the ground. Now, the ball is stuck at the top of your net. What are you going to do as the goalkeeper? You can't get it down down, you kick the ball off and break the entire goal frame in the process. In Guarambari, and we've got a referee here getting chased by some players, only for the police to have to get involved and block them off. In Sweden, and this kick clash is absolutely appalling, and LAFC and their players have decided to get their stewards involved in goal celebrations from this point onwards. We really do love to see a sense of community there. In Turkey at Sivasspor, you'd be forgiven for thinking that somebody's nan had been blown up out on the pitch, or there'd been a mass 30,000 people brawl in the middle of the stadium, given how Turkish news has been recently. But it's a lot more wholesome than that this week, with Sivasspor's manager not leaving the cameraman out of a customary handshake. So over in Brazil, and at a waterlogged pitch, we have got the mother of all long-range headers. Keeper has simply got to be doing better with that one, I'm afraid. Meanwhile, with the stakes high and the scores level in Qatar, it's 3-3 going into the final minute, only to produce an own goal to lose your side the match. It really is painful.
One eye open when I'm sleeping.
Now there is time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to the best of Sunday League and amateur football. Now we head over to the 6th tier of Norwegian football this week. Truth be told, I don't know if that is amateur football, but I assume that it probably is. Now I'll be honest with you, what you're about to see is some pretty despicable footballing ability, and a mistake that is about to prove costly, and a goal is about to be scored, only for a fan to run onto the pitch and block it before it actually goes in. There's being the 12th man, and then there's this. On to the weird stuff though now. Now at Shirebrook Town FC, and they can scarcely believe what is going on this week. The league has informed them that a game against Wakefield, a playoffs match, so a very important game really, the home tie, has now got to be played at a completely neutral ground. Now obviously there could be some sort of reason for this. Maybe the stadium or the pitch, just generally speaking, sorry, isn't really up to standards. Maybe it's waterlogged, maybe there's some sort of clash with another team. Well, there is a clash, but it's not what you would think. It's because the sports staff and social club have booked a wedding at the same venue. Yep, there clearly wasn't too much forward thinking for poor Shirebrook Town FC, because they will not be able to play their home tie where they're supposed to, because some couple is tying the knot. In Wales, and there were absolutely ridiculous scenes that absolutely cannot be condoned at all. Now this took place in Alnwick Town, I don't know how you pronounce that, but 8-0 they won against them, where the linesman was in essence a volunteer from one of the sides. Clearly one of the coaches didn't think he was doing a very good job, I'm guessing the opponent's coach, because he walked up to him and punched him in the face down by the sidelines. Now, unsurprisingly, everybody else went absolutely crazy about this, and the police have been informed. But honestly, guys, for fuck's sake, you can't go about assaulting, like, actual officials. But finally, in some more light-hearted news, over in Switzerland, a newspaper local to FC Sion decided that they wanted to be charitable and do a giveaway. They wanted to do a giveaway to 10 lucky fans in the local area to go and watch FC Sion play in the Swiss Cup final. The only problem is, FC Sion aren't in the Swiss Cup final. Yet they did this giveaway a little while ago, clearly very confident that Sion would end up fighting it out for a Swiss Cup trophy. But as it so happens, I think in the second leg of a game, they ended up going out and losing, only for this newspaper to accidentally leave the giveaway live. So now 10 FC Sion fans are going to watch a Swiss Cup final as a giveaway in a cup final that they're not even in. Is that really getting your money's worth? Who even knows at this point? That though is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.